Welcome back to another, what do we call them? An in-betweeners Saturday. So it's not a normal episode today. We're basically in the backyard. So everyone's in self-isolation. I want you to know that I can get here. I have been isolating now for weeks and it's driving me insane, as it probably is for all of you. But I can get here without being in contact with anyone. And I don't have to stop and get fuel. I don't have to interact with anyone. So I just wanted to give you guys a rig rundown. This is a better place to do it than at home in the garage. So I want to start by saying I hope you're all well. I hope you're all safe, your families are safe. This is an absolutely crazy time and everyone's talking about it on YouTube and social media, so I'm not going to go into it much, but I just want you all to know that Dan and I are thinking of you all, or everyone around the world. It's horrible what's going on, and we're so lucky to be based here in Australia where it's not too critical just yet, but things have been put in place where basically everyone's at home. We're not able to do what we love to do. We're not able to, go full driving down all these tracks. Dan and I have put off our next film trip until further notice. So something that's really helping me is getting out in nature. If you're able to do that, whether it's a bushwalk, I don't think we're allowed to go far. We're not allowed to, drive out to these normal walking tracks and walk around other people. So try and do it close to home. For me, I'm able to get in the surf. The effect it has on me is so helpful. Just being out there with nature, or even coming outside for 10 minutes and feeling the breeze and watching the trees move in the wind, hearing the birds. It's like it takes us all back in time, and it's medicine. It really is helpful for all of us. So particularly if you're one that is attached to nature, and a lot of you probably are if you're watching our channel. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're in contact with your family and friends. Anyway, I won't go on because I know everyone else is doing the same thing. Today we're going to do a rig rundown. So I'm going to give you a detailed review on our 79 series dual cab, this one here. I've been driving this now for about 6 months. It's done one trip up to Cape York filming, and it's supposed to be leaving in a few more weeks to do another trip. But that's put on hold at the moment. While I'm talking about that, I want you all to know that we have so much content still to release, and we're not going to run out of quality content. We've got like another 15 or more episodes to release. So don't stress. Dan and I are going to get back out there as soon as possible. We've still got the access to get into where we need to get to, and there's going to be some epic trips coming this year, like barra fishing and bit of spearing. We're going to be on the east coast on the Great Barrier Reef, diving for crays, like just having a ball, chasing waterfalls. So stick around, stick with us. So I drive the dual cab 79 series, and Dan drives the single cab 79 series. This one is quite basic. It's had the bare essentials installed to it by ARB to basically do trips like Cape York very simply. Dan's is set up with a canopy, as you've all seen in our episodes. And it's got a few more bits and pieces because he's had it for a lot longer. This is going to get the same sort of treatment. We're going to put a big canopy on the back, take this tray off and probably do it all in alloy to keep the weight down. Anyway, I'll get into that. There's a lot more to go on this truck. So what I'm going to show you today is the bare essentials that have been installed on this truck, why I've installed them, why those parts are bare essentials. So if you guys are going to plan a trip to somewhere like Cape York or the Kimberleys Territory, Arnhem Land, or if you're in another country, just remote kind of outback country, this is why we use things like this, like the tyres, the suspension, stuff like that. So I'll give you a bit of a rundown on what's fitted to this ute, and then I might go into a bit more detail as to what we're going to install and why. All right, let's start at the front. We've got the ARB bull bar. Now that's color coded to fit the ute. We're running a TJM winch on the front. That's basically the only thing on the ute that's TJM. Everything else is ARB. Got a entry level light bar. Now I've had a lot of light bars over the years and the technology is getting better and better. I didn't want to jump in. So this ute, I didn't want to jump in. Let's start again. I've had a lot of four-wheel drives over the years. When I was 16, I got my first Land Cruiser and I worked my ass off for that thing, washing dishes after school, washing dishes at night when I got my apprenticeship. So I saved and saved, and I got this beautiful 60 series Land Cruiser, the sandy taupe colour, had something like 190,000 kilometres on it. It was absolutely mint condition. It was like my pride and joy. So I got that when I was 16. I learned to drive in that car, and then it got stolen, which broke my heart. Got another 60 series. I got a short wheelbase Patrol, a Hilux, a GU Patrol, a big bloody Ford F-150. Now the F-150 was a beast. It had like 39-inch tyres on it, completely illegal. About a 15-inch lift. It was massive. Anyway, getting off topic there. So a lot of full drives and tested a lot of gear over the years. Now normally, let's talk about the last two. The last two full drives were a 100 series Land Cruiser and a 200 series Land Cruiser. Both of those vehicles, within a day or two of purchasing them, they were sent to a full drive shop. The 100 series was sent to RWV in Cairns, and they cut the back off it, turned it into a dual cab for me. The 200 series, I didn't go to that extent, but basically went straight to a full drive shop and had like 30 to 40 grand worth of gear fitted to it, because I was living in Cape York at the time and just had to have all the right gear. This truck, I wanted to take my time, do a lot more research, sort of try and test a few things and just gradually add equipment to it. So I'm not going to rush in. So the last trip we did to Cape York had the bare essentials on the ute. The next trip, which was supposed to be in a couple of weeks' time, again, we're going to run this ute as it is. And then hopefully after this trip, after this next one, so before the end of the year, I want to start fitting all the right gear that I want to this ute. So if you guys are running canopies, if you guys want to talk about suspension, if you guys have got any tips for Dan and I about what gear you're using, what gear you've tried, make sure you comment below, because that's what this year is about for me, is learning about new gear on the market, what other people have and why it's been successful for them, and picking out the right gear so that I can fit it to this ute. Okay, back to the front. So like I said, tried and tested a lot of gear. Technology's changed a lot, particularly for lights. So this is an entry grade or an entry level light bar. It's a Ironman Bush Ranger, and it is amazing. It is so good. Now ARB have wired up this ute, so I have sockets here ready to go, one on both sides for spotlights. I'm not 100% sure what I want to get yet. I'm liking the look of the steady lights, but not sure yet. So again, I'm just holding off till I find the right gear. Now let's pop the bonnet and see what's underneath. All right, let's get straight to why I have chosen the 79 series. The 4.5 litre turbo V8 diesel. I absolutely love this thing. Now before this, I had the twin turbo V8 200 series. Epic car, absolutely loved it. And to be honest, I wish I'd kept it. I spent so much money on that thing. It had everything on it. If you want to see it, it's on our Instagram page, right down the bottom before we were doing Wild Reaches. It was a good touring rig, but I sold that for another project. And when I came to buying this, I ummed and ahed about 200 series, really wanted a dual cab, didn't want to cut down a 200 series and throw that sort of money at it. So I've got the single turbo 79 series in the dual cab. Right here we've got the charging system. This is a Redarc BCDC 1240. Now this controls all the charge coming from the solar. You can see the Anderson plug on the front here. That's where you plug your solar panel into. So if we're set up at camp for a long time, we'll run a solar panel and it will run charge through that into our batteries. This is the cranking battery, and up here we've got the auxiliary battery. Now this is the TJM unit for the winch remote. I run a wireless winch remote, and here's the rest of the unit down in here. That's the isolator and the TJM unit. So that's for our winch on the front. Now again, like I said, we've just run the bare essentials on this ute to begin with. So having the two batteries under the bonnet. Eventually when we get the canopy, we'll probably switch to lithium and have all the charging unit, and the whole control unit will be in the canopy. All right, what else we got? We're running BF Goodrich 33-inch tyres. Now these are 285/75 R16, which is the equivalent of a 33. So eventually I might go to the 35-inch tyre. and I might go to the mud terrain, whereas these are the KO2s. These are an all-terrain. While we're under here, again, this was fitted out at ARB, so we've got Old Man Emu 2-inch lift. It's all been replaced. We've got an Old Man Emu steering dampener. Again, as we move along and progress, I want to change the tie rod, and the Panhard will probably go adjustable by someone like Superior. ARB bull bar, it wraps around the sides. We've got the side protection down to the ARB side steps. We've still got the standard mirrors on the side. I'm not a big fan of them. I really like the clear view, so I'd say we're going to switch to clear view. Right, let's check out the interior. Still very basic. Actually, I've changed almost nothing in here. So yeah, the 79 series is extremely basic. Like, for the sort of money, you throw 80 grand to begin with at a 79 series, and this is what you get. From 2017, I think it was, onwards, they have upgraded the dash, the seats. I think there's more airbags, a few bits and pieces. So it is like the creature comforts are a lot nicer than they used to be. I run a Kenwood stereo, which picks up your iPhone, and you can run Spotify through it and all that. The best thing about it has a reverse camera built in, so safety first. So we haven't done much with the interior yet. Again, I wanted to just gradually get to know the truck and get to know what is on the market, what's available, talk to other people. So again, if you guys are running consoles and overhead consoles, stuff like that, comment below, let me know what you're using, why you like it, and I'll look into it. But yeah, I want to do an overhead console, run the UHF up there, and then probably like a cruiser console, get rid of this bloody thing here, and run a nice cruiser console through here with more cup holders and stuff. You can see it's got the aftermarket door cards with, again, Pioneer 6x9 speakers, Black Duck seat covers. So 2019 model, like I said, they've got the nice comfy seats, they're much nicer. Again, like, maybe one day I'll upgrade the seats to, I don't even know the brands, but like those fancy seats, you can get something super comfy, the sort of kilometres me and Dan do. Would be nice to have super comfy seats, but this has been up the Cape once and no issue with the seats. Black Duck seat covers I've run in all my four-wheel drives. Nothing gets through them. You can be bogged in the mud and you're out bloody digging underneath with max traction, just jump straight back in, and you're not going to get those seat covers, those seats dirty. And if you've got a little boy like me and a wife that always drinks smoothies, you've got to protect your seats. Alright, let's go to the back and check out this tray. Now, this is a kick-ass tray. This came on the ute when I bought it. It's steel, so I'd rather have alley. I'm trying to bring the weight down, so when I do the canopy, I'm probably going to get a trig point. If any of you have had a trig point canopy from down in Vico, comment below, let me know what it's like. I know it's all in one piece, your tray and your canopy, but I'm the type of guy that once it's fitted, I'm not going to jack it off and drive out. I just wouldn't do it. So I'm not too concerned about it being one piece. I like the fact that it's mostly alloy and it's really lightweight. But this will do for now. We've got the side boxes. So in here, in this side, I run a water hose here. We've got switches, power, switches for the compressor, ARB compressor, and the water tank. Now this water tank I just run to a hose like this, flicker on. And you got water. It's so good when you get out of the surf. You can have a shower. If you are getting in the car and you're covered in mud from being bogged, you can wash your feet off. That's really handy. So yeah, the other thing in this side, when I go away, I try and keep this side dry and tidy. This side will have like snatch straps and winch extension ropes, shackles, things like that. Both sides have the lights incorporated into the tray. They're obviously hooked up to the reverse light. The lights up on the back, on the headboard here, on a separate switch. Reverse lights here. Underneath, we've got a water tank up here. All the power here for an electric brake controller. Now, when I get my tray done, so I'm probably going to pull this off and sell it. I definitely want a big pull-out drawer here. you know, like a full length drawer with a hard stainless top, so you can fillet fish, do whatever you got to do, and then you can lift it up and access everything that's inside it. This side, same thing, lights. More straps. I carry the like a little shovel in there, and the bottle jack, just stuff like that. Fuel, which is good, it's locked up in here. Both sides of the tray are lockable. All right, now tie down in this tray, we've got these big eyelets here, which are welded in, extremely strong. Now we've got 12 volt set up in the back, USB points, all that. Anderson, I run my Waco runs on an Anderson, and then these tie down points, which are really good because you can move these, you've probably all seen them, but you can move these all the way along to whatever you're trying to strap in. All right, what is the truck missing? Well, the canopy is the biggest thing. I need to have my utes set up to the sort of trips that we do, where you're away from home for a long time, and there's no shops, there's no help. You basically need a lot of water, the best storage possible, so because the amount of gear we have to take, and you don't just want it chucked in everywhere. So the canopy is probably the biggest thing. Now I'm trying to cut down on weight, as I said. I see Ronnie Dahl is running like a half canopy on the back here, so that he's then got spare tyres on the back, and he's got a bit of tray space, and I think that is to keep the weight forward. Apparently these trucks don't drive too good with all the weight right back here over the back wheels, and then you're running your spare tyres basically off the back here, back off the tray, which is a long way back. It's a lot of weight. So there's a lot of things I want to think about. On top of the canopy, there'll be no storage. It's basically going to be solar. I'm going to run about 120 watt of solar up there. The other thing it's missing is a roof rack. Definitely going to go with a Pioneer platform with run side lights and possibly another light bar across the front. I love the Pioneer platforms. I've had them before. That'll be one of the first things I install. Chuck Max tracks up there, swags and stuff like that. The whole 12 volt system I want to have fit in the back, in the canopy. We'll obviously have the starter motor up the front here, and then I'll run a big lithium battery in the back, maybe even under the tray depending on how the tray is configured. Definitely going to run spotlights, 2 big spotlights here. Be really interested to hear what you guys are all using. Not 100% sure what I want yet, so I'm going to keep the light bar. I'll probably just keep this light bar because it works so well. Keep running it, which is great for flood, but I want spotlights to shoot, to punch through that and get up the road and let me know what's up ahead. We do a lot of night driving, and where we go there's a lot of kangaroos, a lot of cattle on the road, so you have to be fully alert and you have to have best quality lights, otherwise you're gonna injure animals and you're gonna potentially injure yourself and write your car off. All right, the bull bar, side rails, side steps, I'm happy with all that. Like I said, I'm going to change the mirrors to the big clear views. The snorkel, I've got a Safari snorkel, possibly change that to a bigger version. Now the exhaust we're running is a 3-inch. Now it's not stainless steel, but I don't know, it sounds amazing and it's got plenty of balls, so I'm just going to keep running the ute as it is at the moment. I'm not going to do any engine upgrades, or I'm going to keep the same exhaust for a while. So one of the main questions we get asked all the time is, what do we have to fit to our vehicle to do a trip like Cape York? And there are so many variables in that question that it's hard to give one answer that's going to suit everybody. But basically, you're going to need a bull bar, 100%. There's a lot of wildlife up there and you've got to protect yourself and your vehicle. Spotlights or a light bar. If you're driving at night, you've got to have light. Good light is just, I wouldn't drive at night without them. Aftermarket quality tyres, BF Goodrich, Coopers, Mickey Thompson's, they're all quality tyres. You have to have, they don't have to be mud terrains, but you have to have good quality tyres, preferably all terrains or mud terrains. And your suspension is probably the most important thing. You don't have to go a huge lift, a 2-inch lift with a reputable brands like Old Man Emu. You have to do it, or basically the corrugations are going to kill your suspension. And spares. Do the trip in a vehicle that you know. Don't do it in an old bucket of shit, and take spares for that vehicle. So basically, tyres, suspension, a good bull bar and lights if you're going to drive at night, and a winch. You can do it without a winch, and just be very cautious before you go down tracks, but it's just going to limit you and stress you out. Put a winch on your vehicle and it's going to get you out of almost any situation. The other thing is MaxTrax. Get yourself a set of MaxTrax. They are amazing. They'll blow your mind. Every time I get bogged and I use MaxTrax to get out, I'm amazed at how effective they are. So get yourself a set of them. That's about it. Don't do a trip like that, like Cape York or the Kimberley or Arnhem Land or anything like that with a vehicle that you don't know, or the vehicle that's a bucket of shit. Do it in a quality vehicle that you know and take spares for that vehicle. All right, well that's it. I'm gonna get home and put a list together and get it up on YouTube for you guys. So I'm gonna head off. Come on, Mus. If you got any questions, write them down below in the comments. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell so that you get notifications when we put out new videos. Next week we're going to be back in the Gulf of Carpentaria in a big boat exploring the coastline, which it's absolutely stunning. It's gonna blow your mind. It's really beautiful. So I'm excited to get that out. That'll be next Saturday. Get out and explore. I know you can't at the moment, so I probably shouldn't say that. Stay at home, stay corona free, stay safe, look after your family, keep talking to your friends, do all that stuff. And once all this passes, get out and explore. Set your ute up with the bare essentials like this one, and just get started. Get out in nature and have fun. All right, see you next week.